You need a button on that to make sure it said okay.
Okay,
Alrighty.
okay.
All right, I'd like to call this meeting of the South County Senior Center Board of Oversight to order. It looks like we've got members present. Travis, Trevor. Sorry, I spent the day with Travis.
Did it?
Um,
Yeah.
I see our Sunderland Town Administrator's here. I see, looks like Jerry Lemon there right next to you. Is that right?
Yes, yep, that's right.
And the people in the back are a little blurry, but I think I see Mary Ann.
Yep.
And then there's a couple people at tables behind that I can't
Yep.
see their face well enough.
Julie
Um,
Chalfant from the
Julie-
Deerfield Finance Committee, Eliana from the Greenfield Recorder. I apologize, I'm not gonna remember your last name. That's fine. We also have Carol Ryan as well, and in the Zoom audience, we have Diane Mercomes, and I assume that's Fran York. She doesn't put a last name, but that's usually who that is.
Yeah.
So.
Great.
All right. Well, welcome everyone.
Great.
I will, and we all know the meeting guidelines.
Yes,
And so I don't think we'll have any trouble there. Discussion items. We want to discuss the EM studio first, and then we'll have public comment after that. Then the public comment is on things that are not on the agenda. So if you have things to say about the EM studio, I don't know, raise your hand or something, and I'll probably recognize you and let you in on the conversation. So maybe here, let me turn it over to Jen, who might be able to update us with where things stand. I know we're not all the way through this process, but Jen, could you kind of give us an idea of what's happened since last meeting and what's coming up next?
No problem. So last Wednesday, which was September 10th, EDM Studio, Chris Wanty went through the space at 112 Amherst Road in Sunderland to get all of the information that he needed for visual. That would be in addition to the plans that I provided him via email, that you all have access to before on the Google Drive. And then after he was finished, a group of us met with him at the space. That group included myself, Trevor McDaniel, Jerry Lemon, Lauren Starr, TJ Conroy's the property manager. I do not believe I'm missing anybody else.
I was there.
Oh,
More or
Becky.
less, yeah, more or less that's the
Becky.
negotiating committee.
Becky, Chris Dunn, as well as Peter Kane, they just came in after, so I was just trying to visualize in my mind, who's up the entryway. So basically, we all went through, everyone was able to give some input to Chris. I haven't received any additional questions for the, for EDM Studio, so I'm sending over 2 emails, that I had received, or I'm compiling them into one, with various questions regarding the process. And one of the questions that I received post meeting was, did we want to submit an official request to Delta Sand and Gravel to determine what an estimate would be for installing sprinkler system throughout the whole building, because that was one of the factors that was brought up during the course of the discussion. I did not want to send that email out as an official request until I spoke with you. I see, in order to keep the project moving along, we should have a ballpark, because that could potentially become into the lease negotiation, or, you know, affect renovation costs, etc. But
this could be huge costs, but
Yeah.
I think, I mean, it wasn't Chris gonna put that together and get this in it.
I wasn't sure, so I
He
didn't know
He
if,
did reach out to me and asked me for the contact of the fire department, so we could get the pressure at the street and size of the pipe and all that.
okay,
So I think he's working on that.
okay, that's fine,
I'm pretty sure I gave him through Fred, he gave me the contact for the water department here, so I just gave him that number, so I think he is working on it, but.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I just, and I also want to make clear, because it's been mentioned to me at some of the other, community meetings, whether, which town, it's Delta Sand and Gravel that owns this property. It's not the Warner Brothers. So when you're
Right.
discussing it in the public, please refer to it as Delta Sand and Gravel, because we want to make sure that the proper owner gets the proper credit,
Sure.
in the discussion. And that way, when people have questions, some of the seniors have asked, oh, this person own it, et cetera, I just want to make sure
Same,
that,
right.
everything is the same, consistent, among everyone.
Okay.
Yeah,
Can I comment? Is that okay?
I don't know, Joyce.
Oh, I recognized Jerry.
Thank you. On that sprinkler system, I did talk with a commercial builder
Mhm.
who said because he knows the building. Because the floor plates are wide open, the ceilings are drop ceilings.
Yeah,
He did not think it was gonna be very expensive if you had to drop in sprinklers on all 3 floors. So it may not be as concerning a factor as what we thought a couple days ago.
Is that because you wouldn't have to dig into the ceilings? It would
Correct.
just,
Just do
okay, it'd be
drop, yeah.
hanging.
Yeah, you run piping.
Yeah,
But that's why he's checking on that water pressure, because it needs to
Okay.
understand how much is coming in, can it absorb
right,
based off its existing pipes?
yeah, pressure,
Installing a new system,
okay,
but
that's good to
he
know.
said it may not be as expensive as we had
That's good.
thought, we may not have a 7-figure.
right, that's great.
I did receive some, a contact, in regards to the furniture and the soft costs that I have been researching, there is, has been increases, so I will be getting a new proposal in regards to the cost estimates for those individual items, and obviously that'll be determined as to how much we need when, we get the EDM, studio report.
Okay.
With that information, like we did with the previous feasibility study. So I think, given tariffs or just given cost of goods going up for various things, we're gonna, potentially base that in some. But I don't see it being astronomical. I just
Right.
see it, going up, certain percentage potentially for the, new calendar year. So
Right,
I just wanted to share that I got that information, and I'm waiting for the, proposal for that.
okay,
Okay. So it sounds like the sprinkler part is kind of going ahead. Somebody is finding an estimate
yes,
for what that's going to cost, so that
Yeah.
when the lease negotiating committee is talking with them, that's something that could be folded in to the cost of a long-term lease. And
yeah,
it may not be as big a spike as some people maybe feared a couple days ago, which I'm always happy to hear things might not be as expensive as we thought.
we need some good news, yeah.
Yeah.
Big, great.
Yeah, go ahead, Jerry.
Thank you. I'm thinking it might also be prudent to have a construction person go through that building. Once you have the defined scope, as an alternate to what Warner Brothers says, well, we're gonna spend X amount.
Mhm.
You mean,
Absolutely.
Delta Sand and Gravel?
Delta Sand and Gravel. Just so you get think of it as sort of a 3-bid process,
Mhm.
so that you're not just accepting one set of numbers, it's
Sure,
then incorporated into your lease. But you have to have a more defined scope from your architect and your planners to be able to do that.
Yeah.
that's. Yeah, and I've been kind of waiting for the answer, is it feasible? And how
Mhm.
much,
Right.
We're not
Yeah.
gonna have an answer,
until October, I think.
well, so we're gonna have a meeting on September 24th.
Okay.
And that's gonna be with EDM. I sent out the agenda for that. It's gonna be another 6 p.m. I believe it's 6 p.m. meeting. Where Chris Wanty is
6.
going to provide, I could be wrong, but
I think I just plugged it in my. so I
Okay.
say,
it's September 24th, so it's
Mhm.
next Wednesday.
Just to have an initial conversation.
So we can get the initial, is this gonna work? Is this not gonna work? Given the elevator, change of use, sprinkler system, anything that could be really a major cost. That's a hurdle to really overcome.
Yeah.
At this point, we know that the towns don't really wanna look at $16 million for a new
No.
build. So this is a great alternative, so given what they're determining, through this process, we'll have just like a 3,000 or 30,000 level overview. We're not gonna get down into anything
Right,
detailed. That won't come until October.
yeah,
And given that part,
That's
that's
early
gonna-
October, right?
Yeah, so the week of the sixth, because and that'll be at the beginning of the week, because on the 10th is when we're having our first community forum. And that information will either be in there as this is going to work, not work, as general information, and then,
Yeah.
we also have to do some type of presentation, which, given how there was a 3-week delay with getting this from Deerfield to sign.
Mhm, yeah, yeah, no,
So they're a little behind, and with that, I don't know if I'll have all the information that I need to do a full presentation on the 10th, but I definitely will on the 15th and 16th. Our first community forum is going to be on Friday, October 10th, 1 to 3. I have a hard stop at 3 o'clock that day because I'm also going to be doing a table at the safety fair.
where's the first one again?
That's gonna be at the Whately Town
Right.
Hall.
At the old town hall.
Yep.
Not the
the
office.
old town hall, yeah,
So on Chestnut Lane.
Yeah.
Or Chestnut Plain.
Chestnut Plain. Right.
In the auditorium on the second floor, so where we
Okay.
held it
Yep.
previously.
Sure,
The next one will be on Wednesday, the 15th. That will take place at the Sunderland, First Congregational Church of Sunderland. We have an event there in the morning, so to make it easier for staff and setup, we're going to be hosting that. No, I believe it's 1:30.
1:30.
It's
So let me
1:30.
just- Is that what my email says, Joyce?
Your email, I thought said 1 o'clock.
So let me just get into here, sorry. Dates.
And that's what I told the newspapers, more importantly.
So hold on, I'm just gonna shrink down this because I need to just get into, make sure, that I have that information on here. My apologies.
The newspaper hasn't published it yet, so if
Good,
it's
we've got
Joyce's
some
initial
flexibility.
thing, right? No worries.
Yeah, I did mention that it would be good to check with Jen, but
Right,
I was reading from her
yeah.
email at the time.
No,
So,
yeah, whatever my email said is what we have. Okay, so I've
okay,
got,
I pulled up the email and it does
I got
say,
it. Yeah, I've got it now. Whately Town Hall is Friday, October 10th at 1 p.m. The next meeting will be Wednesday, October 15th at the Sunderland First Congregational Church. It will start at 1.
Okay,
Then we have Frontier Regional High School Auditorium on Thursday, October 16th, with a start time at 6 p.m. I've already confirmed all of that with the school, and they're all set to go on that. The main feature of that is we're mailing out postcards starting at the beginning part of next week. We're inviting, all 3 towns, the entire community, not breaking up by age,
Right.
because it's a community issue with, if we move forward for special town meeting. And for that purpose, I can confirm Deerfield has November 3rd, Whately has November 12th. And Becky, I need to ask you, is Sunderland
Okay.
doing a special town meeting?
well, ours
Or
changed,
ours changed?
yes. It moved so much, do you remember now?
What?
I think it's October 29th.
It moved up.
I
Okay.
thought it changed
I was told.
again, oh no, I still have it there, yeah, the 29th.
We moved up a week.
Yeah, 6 P M.
How
thanks,
come it
Trevor.
changed 23rd?
Oh, it's lawyers, everybody's schedule, Dan, our lawyers, yeah, it takes a lot to get everybody on the same page, so.
Yeah.
I believe that's where it is.
But you'll have a placeholder for us, and hopefully we have a number that could be changed on town meeting floor. Because we won't, we'll still be trying to figure things. I'm assuming things look like we should try and move forward. We, We need a placeholder article with a placeholder number that can be changed on the town meeting floor to whatever we are actually um, coming to. I know that's
Yeah.
not very articulate. Sorry.
No.
Well, we also have to have an article for the warrant 14 days prior to the event or prior to publication.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. An article, and that's got to have a number in it, but that number can be changed on the floor of town meeting.
Okay.
And I think it can be, generally speaking, revised downward, but not revised upward. I could be
Correct.
wrong on that detail, but I think that's basically the idea.
All right, I'm gonna talk with you offline about that.
And when are you guys, when is Sunderland? Do you have any dates for you guys yet, or Whately?
Whately has November 12th,
Oh, November 12th.
Oh, no, 12, town meeting.
special
And
town
what is
meeting.
Deerfield? Is Deerfield October 29th?
Now it's moved to October 29th instead of November 3rd.
Are we 100% sure on that? I think I got that right. It moved like multiple times in one day, so
That's the date I got.
that's the date you have, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, it could move again.
yeah, that's right. No, I think
Literally
we-
a moving target.
Yes.
It's pretty sudden.
Yeah. I think we're good after all these.
And the select board has been talking about a date for the special town meeting, but it sounded like with the information coming out at the end of the month, they'll probably wait until we get that information before setting a date.
It is the
Okay.
29th and 6th.
6 p.m.
Yeah,
Joyce, what time is yours?
Ours tend to be at 7 o'clock in the evening. Um,
Where?
It would be at our Whately Town offices in that big meeting room there.
So, Becky, given that, are you looking at some point in November, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be early November, most likely. I'm not sure yet.
Okay, thank you. Keep me posted if you get any information ahead of time.
I'll let
So
you
I can
know.
share things. Um. Okay. So Joyce, what I'm hearing you say is that in our ask, we can go down on the meeting floor in numbers, but you cannot go up. So
Right. So would if
sky's the limit for me. Thank you.
yeah. Yeah. So there's so that's one thing. So if we don't have if we're not sure, then we have to make a more conservative estimate of what we would need. And then as information changes, we can amend it. So for example, I guess another thing, we're going to have lots of meetings when we've got the information together. But
Yes.
to me, there's a couple issues, and all the balls will be in the air at that point. But how much of what we need can be rolled into the rent over 10 years, right, in terms of building modifications and such? How much of what we need is really a capital item that we ask for in the regular budget cycle, with like things that we don't absolutely need, to move in and I'm assuming things are going well, January 1st. Like I don't think the commercial kitchen's going to be there. Maybe our goal is to get that within the first 2 years. 2 years. Why 2 years? Because two is the number that popped into my head. Could it be three? Could it be one? Those are the kind of things that we have to say we want it within the first 1 to 3 years, for example. And maybe those, that time period would be better informed by someone who's built a commercial kitchen. If we look at all like Jen is gathering lots of cost information about what things we will need to buy, then I think having a plan for spreading that out over time, those capital items, is the other thing that can really help us. And
But we also,
we don't have the information today to discuss it, but I just sort of feel like that's going to be something we'll be doing during that time. So it might be at the beginning, we have a bigger number, and then we figure out, oh, we can put off this amount until we apply for these grants, or we can put things off into the future that are not absolutely necessary at the start. Does that seem to, does that make sense?
yes,
Sure, Jerry, go ahead.
Thank you. I understand the point about the FF&E and phasing in over time, but will the towns allow you to make a capital investment in a commercial kitchen, which really becomes a fixture of a building that the towns don't own?
so the equipment is all removable and can be placed in a different location. The only, because you would have, your convection oven would be on wheels. Your stove with burners, and if you do, if you have an oven underneath, that's one separate piece removable. Dishwasher is also removable. The only built in the 3-bay sinks would be removable. The only, structure of the plumbing, that is not removable.
Grease
So
trap.
that would stay. Grease trap interior, exterior would stay with the building. And to be quite honest, after 10 years, you don't want to take a grease trap with you. What else? So, your tables would be removable, your stainless steel tables, plus those items depreciate over time. So after 10 years, you're probably gonna look to replace certain things at a, regardless. So I'm thinking for the majority of the larger scaled items, expenditures would be removable. Your soft costs, like the furniture items and things like that, are removable. There's nothing built in that,
Okay.
that I foresee. With all of the bathrooms it has, the only thing that we talked about adding to would be a shower stall in case someone needs assistance for cleanup. But pretty much everything would be removable, so like.
Right, but that
build-
shower could be rolled into the lease.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But for like major expenses, building commercial kitchen, you could even take the Ansel system out, but usually Ansel systems are built specific to a location. So I think that would be the largest item that might not be removable, but the majority of the others, if they're still in good use and 5 to 10 years, you take them out and you put them wherever we go if we leave. Just with that information there, just true. So I think we're not really investing in stationary items into that space. Your grease traps, you're not gonna take with you. You're just not, it's gross, but
Okay.
it's a good question, but
So our timeline is maybe shifted by a week or so on account of getting a slow start. But as soon as we have the information from EDM, if it's looking positive, that our lease negotiating team will be ready to go. So we want to make sure we keep them in the loop on all of these things. And maybe being present for the March 24th meeting, if that's possible, for both Lauren and Jerry. That would be, that
September
would be,
24th, yes,
yeah, September, because that's, you're saying EDM will probably zoom into that one.
yes.
At that meeting, they're going to give us preliminary results, or they're going to be just asking us more questions, do you think, or do you know?
I believe Chris Monti just shared, we were gonna get the 30,000 overview. It's gonna be.
On the 24th.
Yes,
And then,
because he
and
can't
then
give us
anything,
any information. It's basically gonna be, this is a go, or like, this is too astronomically expensive. We have to fix this, and that's a squash.
okay.
So,
All right.
and we
And
won't
then
get the other information till the 6th. around
And you
there.
said which information is coming like roughly 2 weeks later on the 6th?
That's gonna be a preliminary, I think just it's not even gonna be as pretty as we thought, I don't think, for the Wheatley
Yeah.
in Deerfield feasibility
Yeah.
studies, because, we're 3 weeks behind.
We're still,
Yeah, a general plan.
Yeah,
Okay.
Trevor,
just too tight of a timeline for the public. Gonna be,
It is going to be a tight time for people to digest the information. So I am also
Just-
worried about that.
yeah, we'll just see what it is, see what they say, is it doable, is it not, and we'll just have to just keep rolling along, and if Craig doesn't agree, that's his choice. If Delta Sand and Gravel makes a business decision that they don't wanna wait till annual town meeting for people, say it fails. Or fails in one of the towns, or just a lot to move in that short of time if we had some more months to figure it out. So we'll just have to see what his appetite is to that, but I think let's just keep rolling along like we're planning. And see what happens, and that's all we can do, is just to keep trying to move forward a viable home for us, and
Becky has her hand up.
Oh, I'm
Maybe.
sorry, I didn't see you there, Becky. Go ahead, Becky.
Oh, that's okay. At one of our select board meetings, we had, we expressed concerns on the timeline, very much like you guys are reacting. This is, how are we going to, communicate effectively and have solid enough numbers for the public to respond to?
Right.
And the response, later that week, I had a call from Craig, from Delta Sand and Gravel. He wanted a meeting. We sat down and talked together. I think Lauren Starr was there as well. And he was just trying to say that if we need more time to do it right, they want us to try to be effective in what we do. So
Right.
they are
It's-
not just trying to shove us in there by January
Sure.
1st. They
Sure.
are, concerned about the whole picture, and
Yeah.
they want the towns to think through everything they need.
Yeah, that's encouraging to hear, because I was
agree.
hoping to hear that, because it is a lot to manage, and I know that he'd want us to make good decisions and have time to digest it, and I was afraid they had to make a business decision. When I talked to him, he's like, hoping by the end of the year, but if it is, if he knows there's a horizon of April or somewhere in there that, we could really have this time to flush it out through the winter with the towns and the residents to really, we'd
Hmm.
have solid numbers on everything, we'd have solid, all of that. At least we'll know, is it doable or not in the short term, so we can work towards that. So that's encouraging. I'm glad he's open. I was afraid it was a business decision. He needed it by December, and it wasn't gonna work. He's moving on, but if he's open, that would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it might be that we could come up somewhere in the middle, and maybe we end
Yeah.
up with February
Sure.
town meeting, special
Yeah,
town, meeting,
yeah.
I don't know, but I think we should all take a deep breath,
Yeah,
look through everything that's going on, and I
Sure.
know, especially Deerfield, you're involved in a lot of projects at this time.
yeah, we are.
Um, So,
Okay. That's good news to hear. Hopefully.
Yeah,
we'll-
that is
Continue.
good to hear, because the only communication that I had was an email that he sent to Jen, oh, maybe back in August,
Mm,
indicating, let us know by January 1st. And I,
Yeah.
like you, Trevor, assumed that that was a business decision.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
hopefully he has a little more flexibility. That'd be great.
and I
knowing that
will,
it's
I will
serious
call
and
back
trying-
and make sure that he's still
Yeah,
more comfortable with giving more time, because things are getting, we might get really good information next week. Who knows?
right.
Yeah, we might be over the
But-
moon.
Yeah, be
We
great.
don't know. But I think, how we proceed really is important to the community.
Yes. That's
Yeah.
great. Okay.
Thank you, Becky. I think that
Yeah,
was so
appreciate
valuable
that.
to hear.
Yeah, sure. Any other questions on that, or do you want me to do minutes or take questions from the audience?
Well, maybe let's take questions from folks. I can't, is that Julie in the back with the orange?
Julie's in the bag?
Julie,
Yeah.
it sounds like you might have something to say.
I do, I feel obligated to report back from finance committee. We had a long discussion about this at the Deerfield Finance Committee with the select board. Also, there was, there's a couple of things. There was unanimous support for doing the feasibility study for 112 Amherst. For 120, 112.
Yeah,
And so that was, completely unanimous support for doing the feasibility study. There's definite hesitation about the building, I think primarily because of the multiple stories and the small elevator seem to be the main issue. The roof, it was not voted, but it was sort of a consensus of opinion that we should also look at, other places, if we can find places that are all one floor. One example is the Deerfield current municipal building. The town hall folks will be moving out of there into the 1888 building. At the time of deciding to have that happen, it was a conscious, because that building used to be the senior center, it was a conscious thought and discussed that that building was multiple stories and was better suited for something like a town hall where you didn't have a whole bunch of people going to, meetings on the top floor kind of thing. And that the current town hall building was a better layout for something like a senior center. It's on one floor, it has that big open room in the middle, it has large offices and, meeting rooms off to the side that can be used. So it's a pretty nice layout for that building. It's not available for probably year and a half,
yeah,
2 years, and would need some upgrade to make it a more comfortable building. For the senior center, but that's one possibility, it's not the only possibility. But we would recommend that a feasibility study be done also on that building, especially if you get to next week and, it's a little iffy.
yeah.
It was my understanding that you already moved forward with that through the Deerfield Town Administrator when we had our meeting last week, that they were already moving forward with that feasibility study for the 8 Conway Street.
Not that I'm aware, I mean, I
Yeah, you
think
didn't,
they talked
Chris,
about it, but I don't know. if
hear
they
that?
Settled on anything.
Hmm.
We haven't voted any money for it, so I know that.
But the other thing on that is, one of the things that I feel strongly about is I represent 3 towns, not just Deerfield.
Okay.
And there, as your email indicated, in Joyce's response, there should be a group meeting with all the select boards and the finance committees, not, and not Deerfield just solely feeling they should make the unilateral decision. Because since we moved over here and we've been engaged more in all 3 towns, Whately and Sunderland have increased membership by far. So I think, which is great, a lot of people really feel strongly about that. And the other thing is,
So,
they said,
I respond to that comment first, is that it by no means was intended to be a unilateral decision. The way the discussion was that it would be brought back to this group, to the Board of Oversight as a recommendation, and our hope that that would be considered by the Board of Oversight.
Something to look at.
but the other
And
thing.
we also recommend, we think that we agree there should be a joint meeting of the 3 towns of the select boards and the finance. I'm on finance committee, so I think finance should be involved.
And Jerry on the Whately Finance
Yeah.
Committee,
Yeah.
but one of the other things throughout this whole process, we've been in this process for more than a year, with EDM Studio and other feasibility studies. And the biggest piece on that, because this was mentioned before, and correct me if I'm not up to speed, but Deerfield Senior Housing hasn't secured their location because they're running into issues with the St. James Church. And that 8 Conway Street has also been presented as a possibility to put that there. So
Idea.
there's too many variables. And I feel, strongly for the seniors, they feel last. This has been an ongoing issue since 40 years ago, correct me if I'm wrong, Mary Ann. I had feasibility studies in my desk from 2009, 2015, different research, and we've got momentum going, and if it's not good enough for Deerfield Town Hall, why is it good enough for the seniors?
Because that comment really bugs me, so, it's not. The reason the town hall is moving out of there is not because that building's not good enough for them. We have that building and we have the 1888 building, there's two spaces there. And the 1888 building is multiple stories, the ground level is not at ground level, it's up, so no matter what, you have to go upstairs to get into that building. The current town hall building is all on one level and it is just flush, you walk right in, there
Yeah.
are no steps at all to
Okay.
get into
Can I,
that
can I
building.
cut in here? Because it's starting to get
Yeah, please.
repetitive. And I hear you, Julie, on why folks might think that would be a good place for a senior center. There was another building, the Oxford building, that we all thought would be a great senior center until we turns out it would take another like $12 million. Um,
Right.
I think the idea of doing a feasibility study, and maybe even tack this on to the EDM workload is a good one, but we should do it soon because
Yeah.
when they're done with this one, we have to make some decisions. And I don't want to get to the point where, we're late in the game and all of a sudden someone says, oh, but we got to check this other thing out and eliminate it before we can move forward with something that does look like a viable option. So if you're serious about 8 Conway Street being a senior center, then let's get that feasibility study done, so that we know what we're looking at. I mean, I know that the square footage is going to be smaller, but it's all on one level, but it's not really that big room. There's a ramp, but then there's stairs.
Yeah,
And so I've been there. But
yeah,
I'm not the one who would do a feasibility study. The
right,
Right.
professionals who do that, and that's why we pay them, is to get their advice on what could be done with that building, more or less as is, just with renovations. They did look at that site, of course,
yeah, yeah,
and they concluded that the square footage was not sufficient, and I don't remember what the square footage was.
yeah,
I
And
think it
the
is,
parking's the biggest issue.
yeah.
and the
There
parking
are,
there, and the other issue is there isn't any outdoor green space.
there is,
We have to
there are
look at the whole,
negativities.
we
Yeah,
have to look at the whole thing and
sure,
get the people who know how to build senior centers are probably best equipped to help us make a real comparison between the sites. So
yeah,
I'd say let's do
Yeah.
stuff
yes,
with information rather
if,
than the absence of information. And I know there'll be a use for that building, whether it's a senior center or senior housing or something.
right. So if there's some consensus here, I think it's worth looking at. I'm just worried, like, again, I don't wanna get caught like, oh, well, this one didn't work. Then again, we're back at square one. If there is some consensus here to look at it, to see if it is feasible and what the cost would be and what remodels would have to do to it, whatever that might be. I can take that back to the select board and the finance committee and capital improvement
But we
and
should
request it.
Where's the money coming from?
we gotta
I'll
freaking
find
step
that
on it.
out. What's that? Yeah,
We got to step on it and get the information so that maybe we have some forums in October to talk about what we learned about 112 Amherst Road, and then maybe
right,
we have forums in November or December for what
yeah,
we learned about 8 Conway, and
sure,
we actually have a set of facts,
correct,
and reasonable comparisons.
yeah.
Becky has her
To,
hand up.
So we can
there's
report back at our next meeting.
Becky has her hand up.
I put it down, but I remember when Chris and Chris were talking, I believe Chris Dunn has an estimate to do the feasibility study.
Okay,
yeah, I think all the towns did a little
Or
bit
he
of
was gonna send him one.
yeah.
But who's paying for it is my question.
I'll
there-
answer that question at the next meeting, because I don't
Yeah.
have that right now.
But I think there is money that
I'm
was.
not forgoing any money in our budget. We
Can I,
You
can't.
don't
afford
need
to.
money.
can I cut in? Can I cut in, please? I think
Yes, Chair.
all of the towns had appropriated some money for a feasibility study at one
Yes.
point. So that is probably where any such funds would come from. I don't know if there's enough that's in what Deerfield has set aside. or if they need to chip in from what Whately and Sunderland had set aside. And it was years ago when this was set aside, so completely forgot about it, honestly.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that we should keep in mind, that this feasibility study ought to be able to be funded out of currently appropriated money. And it should not be a delay that you have to go and get approval from anybody, honestly, to spend money that's been appropriated already for a purpose.
Well,
So
I'll
that
get
there
you some.
shouldn't be a big delay. Like the finance committee technically wouldn't need to sign off. They signed off already when then it got appropriated at a town meeting.
Can I ask why this wasn't done at the beginning when we've been working on this for more than a year?
Because we've been
Because-
working over here on this. I mean, it's
I'm not
because,
talking about 112, I'm talking about Whately.
because we got
You
a
wouldn't
bill,
look
we
at
got a
South
bill
Fairfield
for
before.
12 to 15 million dollars. That's
Okay.
why.
Yeah.
And that's not feasible. So we gotta find some solution that is. I love 112. I think it's a great spot. I'd love to get it to work. It's big enough. And it's new enough and it's got good infrastructure. There are some negatives that we'll find out about, and hopefully we can overcome those. If that falls apart and it's too much money, or if it's whatever, go to the next option, and maybe this one doesn't work out either. Maybe 8 Conway just isn't big enough and not enough space, and
Well, what was
It's gonna be
interesting is Chief Bachoric had architects look at renovating the 1888 building and having a large addition, I believe, for a senior center. And that was turned down,
it was.
and that would have been perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think maybe that's we I think we're kind of getting off
Yep,
track
no
from where we
problem.
want to be. I don't what I really fear, and Julie and Trevor, really hear me on this. If there's a lot of dragging of feet to getting the information, then we're going to be in a position in February where we need to say yes or no. I'll say February. We just have to say yes or no to Delta Sand and Gravel, and there'll be people in the back saying, but we don't know about 8 Conway Street. And I want to freaking know about it.
Yeah,
Okay? I want to know about it. And maybe there's
Stop.
going to be something there that they find that they say, you're
right,
going to be so much better off
yeah,
one place or the other. But we got to
Yeah.
know it because this, if we put all our eggs in one basket, that basket might go down
yeah,
because people are always thinking the grass is greener on the other side. It's always
always,
cheaper to do this. It's always better to do that. And we know that's not true. From
So-
that 1888 building when it was a senior center was not kept up.
right, it
And
sure
that's
was.
and that's why it became not viable as a senior center.
Yeah,
We really need that information and we need it. So if people are going to like, if every time we find something, someone else is going to say, oh, but we have to look at this before we can even consider those. That's not going to work. We
Yeah.
need to get that information all at once, if we
So-
can, or all in a very short time, meaning a few months being a short time here. I
So
really,
I'll-
because I think I just don't want this good opportunity to slip through our hands because someone
Right.
thinks the grass is greener somewhere else.
I will make a motion to support a feasibility study of 8 Conway Street as an alternate place for a senior center. Then if we have a second,
I guess I'm the second.
all right,
Okay, so since this is hybrid, we have to do a roll call vote. Trevor,
Trevor McDaniel.
Joyce, aye. So we're recommending that we, with all appropriate haste and caution, go forward with with feasibility study. I'm not opposed to getting more information.
Yeah.
And I just think we can't be comparing what, like, some known information with known problems to a place
Right,
where we don't know the problems that just
sure,
might be better, but it might be worse.
right, yeah, I agree. Well, at our next meeting, which is
September 24th.
September 24th, I'll try to get an answer. I know I have a meeting tomorrow night, I believe.
Do you want me to add it to the agenda?
Yeah, just an
Yes, please.
update on how we're funding it, what the budget was. Did we get approval, all that stuff
Approval from who?
from the select board to spend the money.
Deerfield?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I'm
And
not sure where that
I'm
budget
curious-
is from.
So, are the other towns expected to chip in money?
We'll find that out.
To let.
We'll find that out. Yep.
We'll find that out.
But it's not a matter of needing a town meeting to appropriate it, and it doesn't even need a finance committee to
Oh.
approve it. And technically, it doesn't need a select board to approve it, but that's been the practice, I think, in all three towns.
Becky has her hand up.
Joyce, you were talking about appropriated money for the feasibility study. Is there still a balance of appropriated money somewhere that the town?
I know there is in both Deerfield and Whately, and my guess is Sunderland would have appropriated at the same time.
And when were these originally appropriated?
I don't have a date for you,
Okay.
but it was years ago.
Peter,
Okay.
Becky, and let you know, or send an email, because I want to know what the balance is for the other ones as well.
Yeah,
I'll
Deer-
try to
Deerfield
figure this out.
did, but I don't know if it was grouped money. I think it was just Deerfield put up money at one point to look at.
I don't-
church space.
I don't think the other two towns, or I
They
don't
may
think
not.
Sunderland appropriated, because I was involved in some of those meetings, when the former town administrator was here. And it became a point of contention between the
Yes.
three towns that I don't think the other two towns
No.
put money, or there wasn't a formal request asked or
Yeah.
made.
Okay.
No, but Whately did.
We'll think through all that.
Whately did. put
Whately
money
did
aside.
because, yeah, and I didn't know that when we were like scrubbing the couch cushions looking.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Okay,
Um,
good.
I found
Good.
that out later.
All right.
When you found that out, Joyce, did Peter help you find it?
Pete did, yeah.
Okay, so I'll just talk to him and find out when, maybe it was around
Yeah,
the
he
same
might know
time.
when, and then you'll know at least where to look or when to.
Yes.
look.
Yeah. Great.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Any other public, do you want to do public comment on that then?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is,
we actually-
there's a,
We actually speak on that.
Mary Ann and someone who's behind, Jen's head. Do you all have anything you wanna pitch in on the 112 Amherst Road idea?
Well, the only thing I was gonna ask, and this is coming from somebody else who couldn't be at this meeting either in person or by Zoom, is because it's being taped, is there any way to access the tape so they can hear what the meeting?
It's
This-
posted on the Deerfield YouTube channel?
Yes,
All the
it will be
other-
posted online. Yep.
Yeah.
So anybody
Yeah,
can.
so any of our other meetings are there as well.
Did you have anything else to add or need to go?
I have had an email from Christopher with the dollar value
Oh,
for
you
that,
did?
and I'm looking for it, I can't find it.
It's almost when you're out of the office, you
15 or
can't find it.
19,000, but it was,
Okay,
it's a little bit more than the.
Than this one
12,
here.
Yeah.
okay.
But
All right.
I was hoping to have
I
a
know
number,
it was- Chris was.
then I can't find it.
Joyce, Mary Ann has a question for you.
Sure, go ahead, Mary Ann.
I thought a feasibility study had been done previously by EDM on the 8 Conway Street,
Yes,
that building.
as a
Yes.
2-story matching like all of our needs.
Right. With a tear down and the whole.
Tearing it down and building a new building, yeah.
So there was a lot of negativity coming out of that support, that survey, including not ample parking and stuff
Correct.
like that.
Correct. Yeah,
So
so I
what-
would expect a feasibility study would still talk
So
about
why are we
parking
going
as an
back,
issue.
why are we going back to another survey?
Because again, there's what our needs are and what we can afford. So. Right now, is this building ADA compliant? Like, so there's certain things that
Yes.
we're dealing with right now and using because we don't have any other space. Maybe 112 is gonna work out, it's got way more parking. But it does have negativities of a couple floors, it's got, issues that we have to do to the building.
Yeah,
And it'll have some sort of price tag. 8 Conway Street would also have some sort of price tag, it might be more affordable, it probably won't, it will not give us what we wanted for our assessment. for our feasibility study of what we needed, our assessment of space we needed, all that stuff, but the taxpayers aren't gonna spend that kind of money to give us what is needed. So we've just gotta find a way to keep improving on where we have right now, and I think 112 is that at the moment, but. If that doesn't work, we need something else, unless somebody has a lot of land that we could build something that was really cheap or that. We could get a grant, but we're running into our needs are not being met by the money that we have. And so we're just trying to find some way to go, this isn't gonna be great, it's not the best, but it's something better than we have and a step forward.
But
Yeah.
all those rooms that you have on 8 Conway Street, they're on the small side, aren't they?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
so they would have, like walls would have, you'd have to remodel.
And that would come out in the
Dollar amount.
feasibility study, I think.
Dollars on renovating
Yeah.
that space instead of,
Yes,
instead of a different space, if 112 were to be too
Yeah.
expensive to not work out.
Yeah,
And I think to kind of to
Park
Mary Ann's
scheme,
point,
Same place, yes.
yeah, so to Mary Ann's point, we'd be asking them something different, a different question. We wouldn't be
Okay.
saying, how do we build the senior center we need with 16,000 square feet on this property? We'd be asking them, how do we get the best senior center possible out of that space without rebuilding the building and just doing internal modifications? Which is kind of
Right.
the question we're asking them about 112 Amherst Road as well. We're
Mhm.
saying, no additions, no new
Yeah.
elevator. How do we make the best senior center out of this? And is that
Yeah.
even feasible at all? So we're sort of
Right.
asking a different question and revisiting that location with a different question in mind. Does
Yeah.
that make sense to you, Mary Ann?
Yeah, but I was a little confused by
Right,
why you
why
get
again?
back and pay
Yeah.
more money for another survey when you've
Yeah.
already done it.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
That's
I
true.
agree. And you know, the money we spend on feasibility studies, it seems like a lot of money, but
Yes.
boy, is that information valuable.
Mhm.
It keeps us from making a 12 million or $16 million mistake. You know, that's, you know, we'll find out what, after the lease committee gets things sorted out, but potentially from the numbers that Craig gave us way early on, you know, it could be that renting 112 Amherst Road would cost, it'd take 100 years for
Yeah.
that to be more expensive than, you know, building any of the other plans. And after 100 years, that building, you know, might still be standing, but maybe 8 Conway Street will not. I don't know.
correct.
So
Correct.
I don't know because I'm not the expert. We pay the experts to give us that information, and and that's kind of where we are.
I really look forward to EDM's assessment of 112 and see where we're at.
I'm
Yep.
disappointed that we couldn't put more money instead of just paying them $10,000. Because
Yeah.
we might have gotten faster, more information on that, knowing that other monies exist.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jen.
You
Right.
got it, right?
Let's use it to
I
get
thought you
the
did a paper
information.
at one, at 10.
Yeah, he just extended it on to
Yeah.
what the current existing
Right.
contract was.
Right.
Yeah, so doing
So
maybe
if we're
another
done with
contract
112,
extension.
can we move on? Cause it's already 7 o'clock.
Yeah, oh, yes,
Yes.
yes,
I have
absolutely. Let's,
meats.
it
So-
sounds like we're all talked out on that anyway. And
So we have, 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's the other one?
You just sent that.
we have
I
like,
downloaded, or I sent you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes.
I have
The
it.
drafts are on the Deerfield Town site, but we didn't realize how far behind we were, so
on
um,
voting, yeah, we've been forgetting to.
I'm doing them, so I
I
emailed
have
them
to cut
out to
out.
everybody.
Good night.
Okay, good
Hi,
night.
Becky.
Good night. Good to see
Thank
you guys.
you. Can I make a motion for these minutes? I'll make a motion to approve the draft minutes for the Board of Oversight for April 3rd, 2025. May 8th, 2025, June 9th, 2025. July 7th, 2025, July 22nd, 2025, and August 7th, 2025.
And I'll second that.
Thank you.
Hey, all those in favor, Trevor,
Trevor McDaniel, aye.
Joyce Palmer Fortune, aye.
Great, thank you.
Thank
All right.
you. Sorry about that. Chris Goudreau is the one doing those responsible.
Thank you,
Our end, and
Chris.
it's just been hard, so
I'm very grateful. It's
Yeah.
minutes are
Uh,
very tough.
he's
Yeah.
great at them.
Yeah.
I think it was because he was a reporter.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for
Great.
that.
All
Grant updates. So for the foreseeable future, I've been on the CDBG grant. Oops, my computer is saying it's gonna fall asleep. Let's not do that. The CDBG grant, I haven't seen anything regards to, next calendar year, fiscal year. Sometimes it comes up in the fall.
Community block grant.
Yeah, community development block grants, because I've been keeping an eye on different grants that are potential viable for whether it's building a building, renovating, et cetera. As of yesterday, I did not see anything on their website.
Okay.
I do want to share that we did have Deerfield finally signed the Mass in Motion grant.
Oh,
So
good.
we have spent a good portion of that for the informational fair and cruise night.
Which was a huge success.
Yes, and we had to move it to our rain date, but we still ended up with 24 classic cars. We ended up with probably, I want to say, closer to 100 people. Versus the year before, which we had about 200. But I would like to share that we were competing with several other car shows within the region. There was a large one up in Gill, there was one in Florence, and a large one in Chicopee as well.
Yeah.
So people were, some of our members were all over the place. We also pivoted, our food truck could not make the rain date, so we ended up purchasing pizza at Frontier and selling it for donation with water, and that was a big success.
Right.
So we learned if we have to do a rain date, because, you know, not everyone can make the second day or put off having, put us on hold for 2 days, because it's not economically feasible for them, you know, as business owners. So we could, you know, potentially do that in the future if we need to.
Right.
We set the date again for next year, the third Wednesday of August. That seems to be a good date.
And the location was really nice.
Yes, it worked really
Okay.
well. Chief Metropolis is the one who suggested we move there after we were in Hurley Park, because we just outgrew
Yeah.
Hurley. We had our new van on display as well, and a lot of people got to take a tour. So, you know, we are official, we're driving it, it's great, it's going on a long trip, you know, to Hildene, to the Hildene House in Manchester, Vermont, I think was its initial voyage. And then the Mount in Lenox, and then the Big E, and then we took it to the Mark Twain House today.
Right.
So everyone who's been on so far has seemed to enjoy, which is great.
Do we have it like inspected, everything's.
Yep.
done?
Yes,
Okay, good.
yeah, when we initially received the vehicle, unfortunately, one of the inner tires was low and then it got to be flat. We had it fixed and repaired at Pete's Tire in
Yeah.
Northampton. The company is reimbursing us for that because
Okay.
they were unable
Warranty.
to repair it.
Yeah.
Because it was where the tire wall was punctured, so they had to replace the whole unit.
Okay.
So we were able to get it inspected in Harrison Diesel. We
Yeah.
couldn't get Gripco for whatever reason. They weren't there the few times we went to try.
Okay.
So it's legal, got new plates and everything and insurance,
Very
when we
nice.
got it. So, the other vehicle, had been in a fender bender, when I was out in February. We just got a check because it took some time to get things synced up with people's schedule. For some repairs, on the rear bumper.
Okay.
It was on the bridge, somebody hit it, you know, when traffic was slow.
Yeah.
But no one was hurt, everybody was good. So, but one of the grant opportunities that got us the van that we currently, the brand new van that we have, the 2026 Phoenix cutaway 450. They're opening again, the opportunity's open, so I'm asking that the Board of Oversight, you know, support us going forward and applying to replace the current vehicle, the 2011 that we have, with a new one. We're possibly, I'm gonna check to see what models they have for hybrid models. or electric vehicles. People were asking me in the past why the large one wasn't, there were no electric vehicles available. The current van that we have is a 7-passenger with a driver. So we're looking to maybe get something similar or potentially get something larger, but I just want a letter of support. Well, it's to replace the 2011, which, you know, that's basically what it would be to,
Do we,
yes, we have a
do you
need.
find you're taking both vans?
Yes, we took both vans to the Mark Twain House today. And in the past, like, we're going to the Lizzie Borden B&B in October. We have to rent a van because we have more people in that vehicle. We just don't want to take it 2.5 hours away.
Yeah.
So I think there is a need.
Alright.
So it just, you know,
I,
is that letter of support would be?
Yep, you can count on a letter of support.
Well, yeah, can you give us costs, so it, just so we have an idea of
Yep,
what.
well, this could potentially, yep, it would be the 80-20 like we did before. And I have to look at the exact
give me that
specs
number,
on
that'd be
that.
great.
Yep.
Okay.
So, and there's also the potential that if we went with the RTA, we have a really good rapport with the PBTA. They could apply for it for us, where they lease it to us. And the lease is basically just maintaining the vehicle, where we don't have to put forward the 20%.
Mhm.
However, the title would be the PBTA's. So just sharing that as a
Okay.
possibility. I believe East Long Meadow does theirs that way, so does Agawam and quite a few of the other larger senior centers in the Hampton County area.
Okay.
So I did email the contract we received from the PBTA regarding the med ride program partnership that we have. That was supposed to start in July, but they didn't get their monies and contract until later, so Chris Dunn has that and is supposed to forward that to legal for review. So that's on the other one where they would loan us one of their existing vehicles and we get paid for our driver time. Like, a senior calls up and says, I wanted a ride to an appointment, you know, that grant pays for that time. So if Mary Ann were to call and say, I need a ride to the dentist down in Northampton, we don't have a direct bus from Whately to Northampton, we just provide the support. It pays for our driver as well. So, and that's direct support. We're not sure if we want to move forward with supporting the Greenfield route as we have it now in the future. We do get some seniors, but sometimes transfer or ridership is low.
Yeah.
Depending, so, you know, Chris did share that with me, Chris Goudreau, because he's the one who drives the vehicle for that. So I just wanted to share that. So in addition to the Mass in Motion grant, our MCOA grant for visibility, we're utilizing to advertise the community forums, so there's no additional expense on our part. It's to, you know, it's through this grant process. With those, there are no grants. Was on a Life Path meeting. There's no grants for the foreseeable future for any Title III, like movement classes or anything else at this point in time. They don't foresee them coming. So I wanted to share that.
When is your conference?
Oh, so my MCOA conference is, I leave October 21st, that's our food delivery, October 21st through that Friday.
Okay.
Earlier in that day on the 21st, I was asked to speak on a panel regarding our age and dementia friendly process. So, I'll be doing that at the Greenfield Public Library, but it's to talk about all the work we've been doing on the age and dementia friendly.
Great. Wonderful.
Yeah, our conference is in Falmouth.
Yeah.
So staff usually goes to the one that we have in the spring symposium that's offered.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we can't afford to send all three
Right.
of us or close down the center for the week, so.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
I think that's pretty much it
All right.
for me. We have all the dates. Our next meeting is next Wednesday, the 24th.
And 6:00.
6:00.
Yep.
So. If you have anything else you wanna add to the agenda, let me know. But right now, I'm just going to put it as, the 112 discussion with EDM,
Okay.
you
And
know, that's.
an update all.
Update on a potential
Yes.
feasibility
so that
study
is-
on 8
Yes,
Conway.
that's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I think that's pretty much it at this point.
Motion to adjourn?
Second that. Those in favor, Trevor,
Trevor McDaniel, aye.
Joyce Palmer Fortune, aye. Thank
Thank
you,
you all.
everybody, and you know, especially Julie coming out tonight, and Mary Ann, and the person behind Mary Ann, who's
Carol.
behind Jen, whose face I can't see, and our lovely reporter, and Jerry, thank you for coming out.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.